Chosen one, October 6th was always written into your life's blueprint, not as an ordinary Monday, but as a miracle in motion, a sacred checkpoint in time. While others may view this day as just another mark on the calendar, heaven has marked it as the turning point of something long promised, deeply spiritual, and entirely personal to you. For years, you've been preparing without even knowing what you were preparing for. All the times you were told, "Not yet," all the doors that stayed shut, all the nights you cried out wondering if God had forgotten you, none of it was meaningless. You weren't waiting in vain. You were being aligned. Chosen one, today isn't like any other day. There's a vibration in the air, a divine alignment in motion. And this message was prepared so that you would not miss what is unfolding. Stay with this message until the very end. Not just with your eyes, but with your spirit wide open. And write your warmest wishes for yourself and others in the comments, and write the number 777 to charge the atmosphere with collective expectation. This is more than engagement. This is participation in the miracle. Now, chosen one, press the hype button under the video and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. October 6th is no ordinary Monday. It is the day where something spiritual, tangible, and unexplainable begins to turn in your favor. And the world may not know yet, but God has been signaling this moment for a while. Signs have been whispering all around you. You've been seeing things, feeling shifts, sensing that something's building beneath the surface. You couldn't explain the stillness, but you've sensed the silence was sacred. What you didn't know was that God has been speaking, just not in the language the world understands. And now, chosen one, the divine countdown reaches 0. Everything that has felt delayed is being retimed for perfect delivery. Everything you thought was over is being rewritten by a higher pen. This is the miracle of Monday, unannounced, unexplainable, undeniable. And it's yours, not because of anything you forced, but because of what you endured with grace. The delay wasn't punishment. It was divine orchestration. Because only someone like you, with your purity, strength, resilience, and trust, could carry the kind of miracle God is about to unveil. You've lived in quiet battles. You've lost things no one ever saw you weep over. You've sacrificed without recognition. You've been the backbone for others, while your own knees were buckling. And all of that has been seen. On this October 6th, your name is echoing in the divine realm. God wants you to know that heaven isn't waiting anymore. It's moving, swiftly, precisely, and with fire in your favor. There is a window that opens on days like these. A divine atmosphere, rare and holy, that carries answers from realms beyond this world. On this particular Monday, the window swings wide. The heavens are active. The angels are alert. You're not here by accident, and neither is this moment. You're being summoned by destiny. You're being nudged by the Spirit to awaken to the shift. God is saying, "Look closer. Feel deeper. I am doing something new." Now, your entire life has been building towards something extraordinary. The battles weren't for nothing. The pain had a purpose. The wilderness you walked through wasn't aimless. It was sacred training ground. And now that you're standing at the edge of this miraculous Monday, you're being called into awareness. The enemy tried to make you believe you were behind, but God's about to show you you're exactly where you're supposed to be. In fact, you're ahead of schedule. You're standing in the arrival zone of what eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard. The silence you've been enduring was never a sign of absence. It was the calm before the delivery. The stillness wasn't rejection. It was God arranging the perfect conditions for a miracle that can't be stolen, mimicked, or intercepted. When God does something this big, this public, this undeniable, it must be birthed in stillness and wrapped in mystery. That's why you felt left out. That's why it looked like others were passing you. But today, the miracle is yours. And the miracle isn't just about money. It isn't just about a new door. It's about identity, legacy, and divine compensation. It's about God restoring what you didn't even have the strength to ask for. It's about recompense for the times you were betrayed, lied on, abandoned, overlooked, underpaid, and underestimated. It's about your name being elevated in conversations you've never heard, in rooms you've never entered. Yet, it's about a table that's been prepared for you. Today is the seat assignment. This Monday miracle carries the sound of restoration. It echoes with everything you lost and multiplies it. It rewrites your reputation. It returns what was robbed. It replaces what was broken. And it does so with precision only God could orchestrate. Don't look to the natural world for confirmation. This miracle won't always make logical sense. This is supernatural supply. This is divine reversal. And it begins today. So, if you've been feeling a strange pull in your heart today, if something about October 6th has felt unusually significant, it's because you've entered into the zone of divine evidence. The miracle doesn't need announcement. It needs recognition. Can you feel it? That quiet certainty in your soul that this time is different? It is. And as this miracle moves toward you, nothing will be able to stop it. Not delays, not doubts, not detours. Because God is the architect, and He's already approved the blueprint. You may not have had the language for it before, but now it's becoming clear. The dots are connecting. The signs are converging. The favor is increasing. And you, chosen one, are in the spotlight of divine attention. You may not even realize it yet, but something already shifted in the unseen the moment you woke up today. It was quiet, subtle, but powerful. Heaven didn't announce it with thunder, but with a whisper into your soul that this was the day everything begins to turn. You've been looking for external signs, but God placed the signal inside of you. That deep calm beneath the chaos. That inner knowing that something is already in motion. That moment when you stopped forcing and started trusting. That's the confirmation. This Monday miracle wasn't designed to look like what the world calls a win. It's not flashy. It's not loud. It's sacred. It's personal. It's internal first and then external. Because God always works from the inside out. He first builds the person, then builds the platform. He first strengthens the foundation, then reveals the elevation. And chosen one, you've been deep in that foundational phase for longer than most. You've had to carry dreams no one believed in. You've had to show up when you felt like disappearing. You've had to smile while secretly grieving. But none of it was wasted. October 6th is a divine seal, a signature moment from God that says, it's time, not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. God never sends miracles to the unprepared. And you've been prepared in private for a public shift. This is not about hype. It's about holy release. It's not about you striving. It's about heaven choosing this very date to release what has been building. You've endured too much to remain in the same space, and God doesn't waste endurance. He rewards it. All along the way, your character was being purified. While others were chasing quick wins, you were being fortified. You didn't know it, but your trials were testings of spiritual capacity. You were learning how to carry weight, how to withstand storms, how to remain kind when mistreated, how to remain focused when forgotten. And now, as this Monday miracle unfolds, you'll begin to see why that path had to be so steep. The rise ahead of you is too high for shallow roots. You're not ordinary. That's why your path hasn't looked like others. You weren't being punished. You were being protected. God wasn't blocking your blessing. He was preserving your name. What's coming to you doesn't belong to the version of you that doubted or feared. It belongs to the version that kept going when it made no sense. And that version is alive today, walking forward, believing quietly, trusting deeply. And that is the version heaven honors. This miracle is not just something you receive, it's something that awakens you. It opens your vision. You begin to see clearly what was always yours, but was hidden behind pain. You start to realize how deeply loved you've always been. Not for what you do, not for what you have, but simply for who you are. And who you are is someone God refused to let settle. Someone He whispered to when the world was screaming doubt. Someone He marked with favor long before the applause, and today something begins to respond to that favor. Opportunities start finding you. People start recognizing your value. Doors begin to creak open without you even knocking. And at first, it might feel strange, almost unfamiliar. But it's not strange. It's your season catching up to your spirit. The new has begun, and it's not something that can be reversed. This isn't a moment, it's a movement. The people who misunderstood you, underestimated you, or even tried to harm you, they were playing a part in the orchestration, not because they were right, but because God can use anything to position His chosen. The rejection redirected you. The heartbreak refined you. The silence recalibrated you, and the waiting matured you. None of it delayed the promise. It deepened your capacity to receive it. Now you're standing in the middle of something rare. A day that splits your timeline. A before and after moment. And the miracle is not something you have to earn. It's something God has already declared. It's arriving not because you did everything perfectly, but because you stayed faithful when everything was imperfect. Because you didn't curse the process. Because you didn't abandon the path. Because you whispered yes when your world was falling apart. So don't be surprised when confirmation begins showing up in unlikely ways. Don't be shocked when things begin accelerating with no logical reason. This is divine territory now. You've entered into a zone where heaven takes over. The rules are different here. The rewards are different here. The timelines are sacred here. And your name has been called. You've been chosen not just to witness the miracle, but to embody it. Something sacred is blooming around you now. Invisible hands are making invisible moves on your behalf. The kind of moves that shock your past and secure your future. The kind of favor that others can't explain. The kind of provision that doesn't match your resume, but mirrors your resilience. That's what this Monday miracle carries. It carries evidence. Not for the world, but for you. to remind you that your prayers didn't evaporate. They built something, and now it's unfolding. The kind of miracle that touches your health, your mind, your relationships, your finances, your future, and your legacy. Not just one area, all areas, because God is not limited by categories. He's restoring everything. In fact, He's redeeming time. What you thought was wasted will now return multiplied. What you thought you missed will show up in perfect form. What you thought was lost forever will reappear in divine packaging. Better, stronger, and more aligned than before. And while others may try to understand what's happening in your life, they won't be able to fully grasp it, because this miracle was not designed for mass consumption. It was tailored for you, built for your journey, delivered in your timeline, made in your size, and it carries your name on it. So don't be afraid to receive it. You don't need to apologize for the overflow. You don't need to downplay what God is doing. This is your time. You won't have to explain what's happening. It will explain itself. Your elevation will speak louder than your explanation ever could. Because God is writing this next chapter with clarity, and glory. You don't need to make announcements. Just walk forward. The miracle is already testifying. There is a softness in the way God moves when He knows you've been carrying silent pain. That's why this miracle is arriving without noise, but with undeniable weight. Not just to impress the world, but to restore your soul. God saw the parts of you that felt forgotten, the side of you that showed strength on the surface while internally breaking in secret. He saw how you still prayed, how you still gave, how you still believed when belief felt foolish. And that's why this moment is sacred. Because it wasn't born from perfection. It was born from faith. This miracle is not coming to save you. It's coming to reflect you. It mirrors everything you planted in private. All the inner work, all the spiritual growth, all the choices to love, to stay, to believe, to rise again. What you're walking into now is not random. It's a divine unveiling. God never forgot what He promised you. He was simply perfecting the route. This route you've taken, the delays, the waiting rooms, the closed doors, it was not punishment. It was protection. God was keeping your miracle from being delivered into unready hands. He was waiting until you could see it, hold it, and sustain it with the wisdom you now carry. And that's why this miracle feels different. It's not rushing toward you. It's arriving with rhythm. You're not chasing it. You're aligning with it. This isn't like the past seasons where you had to beg or break yourself just to survive. This is the season where grace does the heavy lifting. God is ushering this in with ease. Not because the path was easy, but because you've been trained to trust. So now, as Monday unfolds, you'll begin to notice divine details lining up around you. Small things first. A sudden burst of clarity. An email. A phone call. A thought that keeps coming back. A person who reappears after a long time with a new tone. An opportunity that quietly opens. A confirmation that skips logic and lands directly in your heart. These are not coincidences. They are signs of the miracle arriving. They're heaven's fingerprints on your timeline. You may wonder, why now? And the answer isn't found in your past, it's hidden in your present. Because the version of you that woke up today is not the same version that began this year. You are more attuned. You hear differently. You respond differently. You've matured in silence. You've healed without applause. And that's what qualifies you now. The miracle doesn't arrive when the world claps for you. It arrives when God sees that your inner world is ready to carry the outer blessing. And because you didn't let bitterness build walls around your spirit, your heart is still open. Your soul is still available. You still expect something good to happen, even after all you've been through. And that's why this Monday miracle isn't delayed. It's on time. Perfect time. It took all your strength to get here, and now God is showing you. It was never strength wasted. It was strength invested. Some will look at you and see the change and not know the cost. They'll see the outcome, but never understand the oil. They'll admire your glow without recognizing the gallons of grief it took to find that light. But that's okay. Because this miracle wasn't meant to explain you to the world. It was meant to reveal you to yourself, to show you how deeply supported you are, how fiercely you are loved, and how accurate your instincts have been all along. You didn't make it here because you were lucky. You made it here because you were destined. Because even in your lowest moments, you were still chosen. And that choosing didn't expire. It didn't skip over you. It didn't get canceled by your mistakes or delayed by your doubts. God factored in your flaws and still said, "I'm moving in your favor." That's what today confirms. Not just that the miracle is real, but that you are ready for it. You may begin to feel a strange sense of calm today. Don't ignore it. That's peace. Divine peace. And peace is always the language of a miracle in motion. You may find yourself feeling oddly confident about things you once feared. That's because your spirit already knows something greater is here. You may not have all the answers yet, but you're carrying the certainty. That's faith. That's alignment. That's God's whisper saying, "It's here." What's unfolding now isn't based on the noise of the world. It's not influenced by who's watching, who's doubting, or who's trying to interfere. This miracle is protected. It's already signed, already written, already declared. You're not working for it. You are walking into it. And this path you're walking has been cleared by angels, paved by obedience, and lit by purpose. So when the signs start arriving, don't dismiss them. When the confirmation hits your spirit, don't delay. When the moment comes to step into something new, don't shrink back. This is the moment your life turns. This is the moment heaven confirms your name. This is the moment your Monday becomes a monument.